Okay, so now that you know, you've planned out your garden, you know where you're going to put your boxes, now you need the boxes. So what are your options for boxes? You can make them, you can buy them. How would you suggest going?
Okay, well here's an example of one of my first boxes when I first started square foot gardening. I think I bought some cedar. It might have even been some pine. And cedar is a good one because it is a little more weather resistant. I would choose that over pine. Redwood is even more desirable.
But it's expensive.
It's more expensive. And it will end up looking like this, no matter what kind of wood.
Because we're not going to treat it, right? Because we don't want it chemicals getting into our soil.
Exactly. We don't want to use treated wood. You could paint the outside of your box if you wanted to, but you can also use old brick. You can use cement blocks. I mean, you can make your box out of a lot of different materials, things that are very inexpensive. This white vinyl here is very long lasting, will last for years and years, and will stay looking really nice. We sell this on our website. I do recommend using vinyl as it's very weather resistant and it will last for years and years, staying really nice looking. Whereas your wood, and I've had clients come to me who have done this themselves and they've said their wood has split or it just doesn't look good anymore. And so we'll replace it with the vinyl and they're set to have it look really nice and attractive for years. If you decide to make your box out of wood, well, the pieces come in perfect sizes. Usually they come in 8-foot length, so you just need to cut that in half for your 4-foot. And then they also usually come in 6 inches width. So you're set to go.
That's all we need is the 6 inches of dirt. And then it's just like you think. You just put the pieces together to form a box, and that's what you do. Now, if you're planning on building your own boxes, be sure to set aside a day because it will take some time. Okay, so making your box is definitely a good option, but what if you're like me whose husband said they won't make boxes? In this case, it may save my marriage if you can give me another option. He works on Saturdays. He doesn't have a lot of extra time. I have 2 little kids, so I don't think I have time to go make a box. But I want a square foot garden, so the other option is to buy, right?
Right.
And there are places that sell it, like Belinda.
Well, we became so passionate about the square foot gardening method, and we saw there was a need to provide people with some of these things, like a simple box, but something that looks really nice. And then a grid, and then the soil. I mean, we take the guesswork out of it for you.
So this is, I don't know if I said this before, but I want to make this very clear that I contacted Belinda. She did not contact me. She's not giving me free product. I'm paying her for the stuff that I'm using in my own garden because personally I was tired of spending 5 years at my old house. We tried mixing the soil, we tried building our own boxes, which is partly why my husband's done with trying to make this work. And I knew that I could get it perfect from the beginning, which is why I called Belinda. So if you feel the same as me, there's no shame in it. At least I don't think so because it's my problem. And so I contacted Belinda and so should you. The website is homegardens2go.com. If you live in Utah, she'll even come install everything for you. So that makes the deal even sweeter if that is what you need.
Here's an example of a 4x4 box with a plywood bottom, and we like to use about I think it's a 5/8 inch bottom, and we drill a drainage hole for every 12-inch square. So you're going to have 16 drainage holes in the bottom just to make sure that the water can run off. And this is, I would recommend a wood bottom if you're putting your box on a patio or deck just to protect your your wood or your cement. And also, this is how you can raise a box up onto a table, especially for elderly or people with physical limitations. You can lift this right up on a sturdy table and have it waist high to garden that way. Okay, there is a special reason. We always keep our boxes no wider than 4 feet because we've found that's just the right width for an adult to be able to reach in to the center so that you can tend it. You can reach all around it comfortably. Now you can make your boxes any length, but we never like to go wider than 4 feet. And also an important thing about that too is that you don't need to step in your soil. You don't want to step on your soil at all because that will compact it. We need to keep our soil nice and loose, and that's what'll be the best for your vegetables growth.
That's just amazing.
So with our boxes, we also have some great advantages. Our garden becomes much more manageable, and this is how we can extend the growing season longer. We can put something like this on our box. You just take a piece of rebar and pound it in the corner of your box here, and then just simply put some PVC pipe right over your rebar and just bend them to the opposite corners, tie it here in the middle, and you've got a great little tent. And this can be used in a number of different ways. First of all, in the early spring, if you want to put some seedlings in here, cover it with a nice plastic and make a greenhouse. Then in the summer, let's say it's getting pretty hot and you want your lettuces to extend a little longer, put a shade cloth over here in the heat of the day. You can also, if you've got a problem with insects, you can put an insect barrier or a netting to keep out birds if you've got that kind of problem. So you really can protect your garden like none other. I mean, you can't do this with a traditional garden at all. One other thing you can do too is in the fall when it's starting to get cool, the tomatoes that you just can't say goodbye to, put a blanket over them and you can extend the life of your tomatoes too.
Oh my gosh, that will be me. I love tomatoes.
Yeah, tomatoes are the #1 veggie, most popular vegetable to grow.
And we'll be doing a video on that, of course, too, how to plant them correctly, because there's a couple secrets you may not know about that. Okay, the other thing that I wanted you to know about square foot gardening is not only are you planting down here on the ground, but you're also going to start growing them vertically. Because you may be wondering to yourself, well, what about a pumpkin? A pumpkin plant can really be invasive on a garden. But Mel's already got it figured out, and Belinda's going to tell us more.
Right, and you're totally saving space too, but you're also protecting your plant so that you're not going to be stepping on it, and the plants love to grow up.
They get more sun too, right?
Yes, and they really thrive. So this is called our vertical support frame with our nylon netting. The nylon netting is especially nice. It really weathers well. It'll last for a number of years, and if it ever breaks, you just tie it back together. But this is so gentle on the plants. And you simply, we'll show you in later videos our plants growing up this. But you just
remember,
simply,
it's March. We're not growing pumpkin yet.
Yeah, we're not growing too much yet. We are growing our cool weather vegetables like our broccolis, our cauliflowers, our peas. In fact, I've got peas coming up now, and I'm going to put this trellis next to them as soon as they're up a little more, so that it can have this to grow on. But what we've done is we'll just put this rebar in the ground right on the corner of our box, and then this piping will fit just right over that rebar, and it'll just stand right like that.
Oh, and that's easy.
Yes, it's very easy. You can construct one of these yourself simply. So it's electrical conduit with some corners, your rebar.
And what kind of vegetables would you have grow up? You said peas.
Yes, okay. We'll use this netting for our string beans, our vining beans, for our cucumbers, and I love to use this for my tomatoes because for me the cages I just don't like them. They tip over when you really need the cage. They tip over. So I get my tomatoes, they'll grow as tall as this.
As tall as this?
Yes.
And this is what, like 5 feet tall?
Yeah, this is about 5 feet. And we have a little method of thinning our tomatoes to keep them from getting too bushy, because we plant 1 tomato per 12-inch square.
Okay.
So we can also plant melons, watermelons. We can plant cantaloupe, any kind of vining vegetable on this.
And that's amazing, because I know at our old house, we had the problem where it would grow out into the lawn, and then you're kind of like, do I mow around it? Yeah. How do I get into it? So
right.
I just really love that this method is clear, it's succinct, it's compact, but yet you can do anything that you could do if you had a very large space for a garden in really such a small space.
That's exactly right. It's very true. So another great thing about your square foot garden is that it is really portable, and you can actually take your garden with you if you are moving. You can bag up your soil. Be sure to take your soil with you. That's a valuable component. But you can also just pick up your box, put it in the moving van, and take your garden along with you.
Okay, so Belinda was going to show me really quick just a sample of what it would look like with the box.
Right. Well, what we've done first is we've laid down some weed cloth right over our grass. We place our box right on that, and that's going to keep out the grass, and it's going to keep out any weeds and keep our soil nice and clean of any weeds.
So after you've made the box, you put it down on weed cloth, and then we're ready for soil, which will be tomorrow's video. But where can you get weed cloth?
You can buy weed cloth. Of course, check our website. But you can get weed cloth at any nursery, any landscaping store. They usually have it on a big roll, so you can have them cut the desired length that you'd like.
So you don't have to buy the whole roll. You can just get the thing. But what I will say for Belinda, because remember I called Belinda, I'm having her help me. She does sell a package with the weed cloth and everything if that's the route you want to go.